Hadden, welcome.
Thank you.
Triple H, Heather Hadden Homes.
Yes.
The Mad Hatter. One of my favorite agents, one of my favorite people. How long have you been with us now?
I
Three?
think almost 3 years, yeah.
That's amazing. Where were you before?
Where was I before? I was at Chestnut Park.
Chestnut Park. That's right.
Yeah.
Tell me about how you get into your consistently in the top 100 agents in all of Treb, which is no small feat. That's 70,000 agents you're up against.
Yeah.
And you're in the top 100. Like
I feel very honored and very
well, it's
lucky.
well deserved.
Well, that's really nice.
It was easy getting there, right?
Pardon?
It was easy getting there, right?
Yeah, right. It's funny that some people think it's easy, but it's a lot of work. It's been a lot of work.
It's a lot of work the way you do it, because you do it to a different level.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
As far as service is concerned.
Yes.
Let's rewind though. How did you start when did you get into real estate? How did you get into real estate?
Mm-hmm. Good question.
Tell me about that path.
So it was 16 years ago, and it might be 17 now. I'm really aging myself. I was a teacher.
You started real estate when you were 12?
Yeah, I wish. I started when I was a teacher for 3 years, and
What type of teacher?
I was an elementary school teacher.
Amazing.
And
I can see that.
Yeah, it was really funny. I actually taught, when I was 22, I had to teach grade 7 and 8 sex education, which was just,
Probably less complicated
the
back then.
absolute worst.
Sorry, I spilled water over myself. That was probably less complicated back then.
It was just so crazy. Anyway, so my younger sister, was a real estate agent, and she just seemed to have all this time on her hands, and she was like buying herself a house, and I just thought, wow, that looks fun and great. And so I decided that I didn't know anyone in my friend group that was a real estate agent, and so I thought, I'm going to do this. So I got my courses while I was teaching my last year, and then I took a jump, and it was very scary. And I almost literally, I think I was almost broke. And I had, I went to my parents and I asked for a loan, and my dad said, you can have this loan, but that's it. We're not giving you anything more. And if you do not make it in real estate, you can come home and live in our basement. And then he said, but you also have all the traits to make a good realtor. So if you don't make it, it's on you. And I was like,
The pressure.
No pressure. Yeah. I joked that I wanted to ask if he would give me wine if I was living in the basement. But I didn't ask. Anyway, so from that point on, I took full responsibility for my success or not. And that, I think, was a huge turning point in my whole career. It's like, if things aren't going well for me, or if I'm not seeing the business I want to, then I know that it's because of me. And I don't blame the market or the this or the that. So yeah, that was how I started. Yeah.
What did you do with the money? Was it just for living expenses
just to live.
Just to live? Okay.
And it wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
But it was maybe at the time, and my cost of living was not high at the time, but it was maybe 3 months to stay afloat. But it was really touch and go there. I could have been
How was your first year?
in the basement.
Because the first year, what I've seen over
Yeah.
the agents that have gone through the brokerage,
Yeah.
the first year is usually not too bad. They because they're new to the business, and they just bring in some family and friends, and they make $7,500K. It's the second and third year, because they have to make that happen again after they exhausted that in our network. It's the second and third year where I see agents struggle.
Yeah, that's so interesting. For me, I have always, I used to figure skate competitively, and I think that somehow got into my blood, and I can be competitive. So my first year, I wanted to be the rookie of the year at the place that I was at. And I had a goal, weirdly. And at the time I was so desperate because I just wanted to do a deal. So I really bought into the mindset of having a goal and thinking about it.
The goal is to not live in your parents' basement.
Yes, the goal is to not live in my parents' basement. And the goal in the first year was just to do 12 deals. And so I would write it everywhere. Every single day in my journal, I would write 12 deals, 12 deals, 12 deals, 12 deals, 12 deals. And it was the same year that the book The Secret came out. And I was just so desperate. I was like, why not try this? So then I did 12 deals right at like a year. So
it's amazing.
I did it. And then I just sort of ran from there. And they used to say, like, we don't know what she does. She just sort of runs by the seat of her pants, which I just would sort of run every day and hope for the best.
So, tell me about the transition from Heather Hadden, the lone wolf agent, to building a partnership, building a team out to today. So,
well, it was interesting. So for the first maybe 10 years, I didn't have any help, which and I would do everything. So I'd be doing all the running, all the showings, all the everything. I don't know how I survived. Like, I literally did almost have some like nervous breakdowns because I was trying to do everything and I didn't know how to delegate. Here, just let me turn this on 1 second. I didn't know how to delegate. And I didn't feel comfortable delegating. Like, a lot of agents are like, well, I don't want to work 100% of the time, but I don't trust anyone else to be me, right? Mm-hmm. And my clients want me and blah, blah,
For
blah.
sure.
So I had that mentality. And then I finally got an assistant to do all the things that I didn't like to do. And that changed my whole life. And then I started learning about how what I should be doing is just what I do best 80%, and that I can only do 80% of the time. And then everything else I need to delegate. So I just kept building on that and building on that and building on that. And then I became very comfortable delegating to people that I really trusted. And the more I delegated, the more I could focus on the growth and getting more clients and how to get more clients and all of that. And then it just grew like that. So that's.
And that's what you should be doing, right? As a team lead, you're the business developer. Right?
Yeah, and that's my passion. Like, that's what I'm at. Like, I'm most passionate about growing the actual business, like working on the business. I'm more passionate about that than even working in it.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's tough, though. You're right. It's tough in that when you're making the transition into being a team lead from that lone wolf, because you're right. You're putting a lot of trust in the people to be you in front of the clients and treat the clients the way you treat them. Mm-hmm. And it's definitely a tough transition. With that said, then tell me about building the team, right? What are you looking for in the people you put on the team? What type of agent, I should say?
Yeah. So when I first started, I sort of just was under this impression that whoever wanted to, like, I'll take you. Yes, I want, like, come be with me and be on the team. And I still feel like that, but I'm looking for keen, hungry people that are, like, willing to, call leads and just sort of get their hands dirty and are keen to do, like, open houses and just sort of keen to grow. And what I want to promise them in return is, like, I'm very passionate too about helping other people grow their business or double their business. That's my goal with all of my team members. So, but I that's taken a while. Like, this is year 3 of Hadden Homes, and only now am I really in, like, a good stride with the team, and, like, I know what everybody's doing, and there's systems, and there's, like, all of this stuff. Systems has been ginormous. Like, when I was a lone agent, I had no systems, none. Like, I didn't even know. You don't know what you don't know until you get there. And
You don't know what you need.
no.
Right?
And now I look back and we have systems for everything, and it makes you feel so much better having these systems in place. And it makes it easier. And now I actually work a lot less than I ever have, but are doing more business. So it's great that way.
So let's rewind a little bit. When you first were in a team, you're in a partnership with another successful realtor in the city. I know you went through a divorce at the same time that was that you're building up that team, and then there was parting of the ways.
Yeah.
How did you manage that? Like, how did you manage the business at the time? How did you manage a double breakup, and then get to a point where only a few years later you've built out a team that's one of the biggest in the city?
So
right?
crazy.
Like, a lot has happened in a very short amount of time for you.
Yeah, no, so I went through a divorce with my ex-husband, and that was very hard and a lot. And then, like a year later, I had been in a partnership with another successful agent, and we put a lot into that, and then we went our separate ways. So yeah, it was like a double breakup in a way, because business-wise and personally, so I had to start from scratch, and all the marketing that I'd put into over the past, I think, 4 years that I had my partner, I couldn't take advantage of. It was in a different location as to where I was living, and blah, blah, blah. So I had to think of a name and just start on my own. But I learned so much from the business partnership that I had, and I felt like if I could have, I basically, I was at the very lowest of the low, so I felt like I need to build back. But it was the first time ever that I could build what I wanted to, because I didn't have a partner, a spouse telling me I can't do that, or I can't do this, or I can't invest in that, or I can't invest in this. And I didn't have a partner that was saying, we need to put our money here, or we need to put our money there. So I was able to sort of fly freely and apply everything that I'd learned up to that time and just get back into it. And so that's what I did. And I sort of, I don't know, I feel like a scrapper. Like I was just like scrapping and hustling and getting it out there.
Yeah, it was very strategic though, right? Like if you look at like your growth, even since you joined us, like you've tripled your revenue.
Yes.
Right?
From when I joined you guys, the year that I joined you guys, that's when I doubled. That's when we doubled the business. Yeah.
But you really, and I think you probably give a lot of credit to Jess Nova for this, but you really captured an audience. You really put yourself out there. You're personal. You really talk about that, because we were just talking before starting to record about doing stuff like this and for the world to see and see the way your mind works. And
so the listings lab was huge for me in that way, because Jess taught me how to do social media things. And
is that the name of the program? Do social media things?
Yeah, do social media things. And everyone's like, oh, you seem so comfortable and blah, blah, blah. I felt like a really big loser when I started, because all of a sudden I'd gone from sharing nothing to just coming out. And even some of my friends were like, are you okay? And it was really rough for the first month or two. But I was trying to be authentic and share, and that really changed. That really impacted my business in a huge way. That sharing social media, and just because I being top of mind. That's basically what I was doing. It's just being top of mind in everyone's feeds. When you think realtor and there's I'm in your feed every day talking about real estate, you automatically would think, oh, that person needs to sell something. I know someone. Because that's what was happening to me with my social media and watching other people. I was noticing. So yeah, that's been like a total game changer for me.
Yeah, I think it's I talk about this all the time. Like I hear so many older successful agents. I'm not trying to be an ageist here, but don't get it.
Yeah.
And they won't do it. And
Yeah.
they're against it. And they say it doesn't work. And
Yeah.
I'm always trying to say it's not about digital advertising and generating leads. It's about trying to stay front of mind, right? Because if they're not seeing you providing value on a daily basis, and you can only put your face in your ad in so many magazines or newspapers.
Totally.
Like, one, print advertising is extremely expensive and not that efficient, but you can only do so much of that. Like, social media just made a very efficient way for you to stay front and center. And I always say, if you're not front and center, they're sitting at a bus stop looking at Frank Leo, right? Or
Yeah.
Sam McDaddy on the
Yeah,
DVP on a massive 60-foot
Yes.
billboard.
Yeah.
And guess who they're calling,
Yeah.
right? Because they haven't heard from you. You can't
Yeah.
be everywhere at all times.
No, 100%. And I just think that if you're not doing it, you're leaving a lot of money on the table in this day and age. And that's why I like being here with you guys so much. It's because like I've always been sort of obsessed too with digital marketing and like what I can do next and the future of real estate and how I see it as being completely online and it's moving really quickly. And I love that you guys knew exactly what I was talking about and helped me to implement that because it's such a huge part of my business. Like I can go to Blair and say, hey Blair, can you make me a funnel of this or that? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
It's agents like you that we're looking for, right? And again, they don't have to be massive agents like yourself, but just people that are willing to put themselves out there and
Totally.
help build the content. We have the systems to get you out there, but
Yeah.
we still need you to help build content to make
Yeah.
it personal.
For
right?
sure. Make it personal. And that's another thing. Like it's not even what I've learned is that there's a strategic way to use the content that you have. Like the just listed, just sold, that doesn't do it.
No.
So even if you are posting like just listed, just sold, and you think, well, I'm posting and I'm doing this, that's not what works. It's like the authentic part, the people that, and this is how you attract the people that you like working with too, because they are attracted to work with you and you're attracted to work with them. And so, yeah, I'm really happy that I did that program. And I started that program right when I started Hadden Homes. So
You just touched on something. It's funny. This is, not to pick on the people that I was just talking about, but the agents that say that this doesn't work, they always say this business is about building relationships.
yeah,
Getting in front of your clients. Again, you can't be everywhere at all times to every client. And I think what you've done a really good job of is building trust with someone that's never met you. Like I guarantee a client that comes off a digital lead for you because of your content, when they first meet you, they already feel like they know you. Like Matt Campoli, I don't know if you follow Matt Campoli and Price to Sell, but he came in here for a meeting a few weeks ago. And when he walked through the door, I felt like I knew him. Like I greeted him like I knew him, that I've known him for years. And it's because of his, I do know him because I see who he is online on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And again, like yourself, he's personal. He lets you into his world and the way his mind thinks.
Yeah.
And,
No, I feel like that. And it's funny because when I do meet the clients that contact me online, I meet them and it does feel like that. And also like most of the time, I don't have to compete with anybody. Like they've just chosen me.
They've chosen him.
And that's so great. And it's interesting because I've tried everything too. Like I think another part about having a bigger business is you have to be willing to take risks and lose sometimes. Like I've tried like every lead generation. I've tried every single thing.
You're never scared to spend money on something.
Never. Oh my God. I wish I could have it all back. And so does the tax man. But I was just saying that, to try to put yourself out there, try new things. And one of the things that used to work like okay was when we would do direct marketing, like flyering, that kind of stuff. And we'd get like, if you were consistent, you'd get like a few listings here or there. And we tried it and it just wasn't working in the same way. And it's like what you said about print. Only 1% of people buy off of like print now in terms of like all of that stuff. So I just feel like getting out there, like now you can retarget people, so you follow them around the internet. Like a lot of people don't realize that it is all a big master plan that you can put into place. Like it's not by accident, you know? It's, and I think people are really intimidated by it. Like I'm not a computer savvy person, like not at all. I don't even know. I'm the worst, but you can get people to do it for you, and it's really worth it.
It's funny when I think about print advertising. Again, I think there's room for everything, right? It's not about one thing working or not. But I think about print advertising. If I was going to take out an article in a certain magazine or a newspaper,
Yeah.
I'd be more excited about printing a picture, a digital asset of that article on social.
Yes.
Right? As opposed to the actual article in the magazine.
Yes. That's so true. And like, yeah. I think for like PR purposes, it's worth it.
This kind of validates, especially for certain demographics.
Yeah,
You know.
it kind of validates. The other interesting thing that I learned that I think has been huge is niche, like the importance
Localized as well.
Yeah, finding a niche. Like when you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. So it's like you have to figure out who you want to talk to. Of course, you're going to do deals for other people. Like my niche is move up buyers. That's my age bracket. That's, you know, what I love to do. Some people are first time buyers. Some people are downsizers. Some people are like military. Some people, there's a whole bunch of things that you can do. But online, the more niche you are, the more it works, basically. So I think a lot of people don't know that or think about that.
Speaking of that prompts me to, you know, I've seen some of your content as of late. I don't know if it's been live or just through the office and whatnot, some of the videos that you've done.
Yeah.
And you've been talking about your divorce a lot and navigating the real estate market as a newly divorced female.
Yeah.
And maybe making that a niche, right? So
Yes.
talk to me about that and how you're approaching that.
No, I would love.
And that's obviously a very personal thing for you,
No,
right?
but I love it so much. Like I looking back, I can't even believe, like you would know, but I can't even believe how difficult it is to go through a divorce and with a child, like with kids. And I mean, any woman that has gone through it, I just want to help them. And I was so lucky to know what I knew from being in the industry about how to build wealth back.
Yeah.
As you know, you
It's a
lose
setback,
all of
yeah.
it,
Yeah.
or most of it. So I took, like, the first thing I did was I bought a condo and I put 5% down, and then I held onto that, and then I basically held onto that for a year and a half, and then I moved into something a bit bigger, and then I did a few things, held onto that for a year and a half, 2 years, and then I took the equity from that, and then I got back into a similar house that I lived in when I was with my ex. So it was like a building wealth plan to get me to where I needed to go. So I just was moving up, improving the space, and did so a few times. Now I'm very happy where I am, but I really want to help other women do that need help, and also that someone that like understands what they're going through and just, you know,
Empathy.
can relate to it all.
Yeah.
I'm actually really excited. We were just talking about this, but I'm starting my own podcast soon called Starting Over, and it's all about people that their divorce stories and like what happened to them, how they felt, what they did. So we'll see about that.
Or you're just going to have Kleenex on hand
Yes.
at all times.
At all times. And wine.
Yeah, and wine. Probably more so the wine.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. I really like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it.
Have you started filming yet or no?
Not yet, no.
No.
Like, I think next week, I'm just sending out a bunch. Like, it was so interesting because on social media, I just said on a story, you know, I'm going to do this. And I had about 25 people say that they would talk. So I'm really excited about it.
I'm excited for you. That's great.
Yeah.
You'll be great at that.
Be really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Tell me about your team. Tell me about the dynamics of your team, how your team operates, what's a benefit to a client working with Triple H, as I call you.
Yeah.
And what they get by working with a team.
Yeah. I'm right now, like, I absolutely love my team. They are so supportive and so amazing. And I'm a bit different. Like, I basically get the team to help me with every client that I have. So all buyers, all sellers. And then we try to scale digitally. So we're doing ads and calling ads, and like agents, I like to give them a ton of leads. Like, I think leads are huge. So there's really unlimited leads over here. So we're getting a lot out of that. And basically they just offer such support. I trust them all. And I want to help them all I don't want them to make the same mistakes over time that I made. Like, I really want to help them to have the systems, to have the leads, to be able to make double of what they sort of expect to make, as I said. And what do we offer? That's different. I try to offer more than anybody.
I was just going to say anybody.
You know, I may not, but that's my goal. And I still charge the standard commission. So, and I believe in that. I've never been, I should be more, but I've never been about like the dollars and cents of things. It's more of a macro thinking of like, if I do a great job here, they're going to refer me, and then it's going to go from here. So like, I have the service, basically. Just like, what else
and
can I provide?
You service your clients more than most, much more than most. And it's funny, like, there's like this downward pressure from clients on agents for their commission.
Yeah.
And you know, to be honest with you, when they're judging the majority, rightfully so, right? But I think when they're trying to negotiate with someone like yourself who provides the service that you do,
Yeah.
they're negotiating against themselves, because they're literally, you know, if you're decreasing commission, you're also decreasing value, because you can only do so much on a listing with a lower commission.
100%.
So what are they giving up
100%.
by not electing to go full service with a full service agent, right?
I just met with this woman that needs to sell her condo, and she had listed with a 1% selling side, and she felt like they were up to a lot of sketchy things, and her gut was off and whatever. And so she liked our staging on another condo. So she called me, and I met with her, and I told her what was included, and she couldn't believe it. She's like, "You need to get that out there more."
And your staging is so.
I'm trying. Like, so I own all the furniture, and we have in-house stagers, which I'm so lucky to have. And so I told her it was all included, and she couldn't believe it. And I guess she'd interviewed a bunch of agents, even for the same amount of commission, and they didn't offer the staging or the digital marketing or the painting or the moving or the storage or all the things.
And you often give your, I know the breakup with your previous partner was a little bit contentious, but you often give her credit for, that's one of the biggest things you learn from her, is marketing a listing properly.
I learned so much from her, honestly. Like, she is an amazing, amazing agent. And yes, I learned so much about service and how to like really do the best I could on representing people on the listing side.
Yeah. Let's talk about the market quickly. How you navigating this right now, right?
Oh, it's so
like
fun.
we're navigating it. Like, you know, we've had like multiple months now down 55% as a company.
Yeah.
Right. So and we have lots of overhead, like every other company in the city. But an agent your size with your type of team, you have a lot of overhead, right? So how are you navigating this market? What are you telling buyers?
Well,
what are you telling sellers?
I'm 75 years old now inside my body. But honestly, this is like, for any agent that's listening, like if they're feeling down or out or this has been the hardest time. Like, you're not alone. I'm seeing it. I watch it. I'm seeing it everywhere. I've had to really, really work on my mindset, like humongously. I've had some dark times in the last 8 months of thinking like, oh my God.
We've had some calls.
We've had some calls. You've helped talk me off the ledge. Because my overhead is very high, and so it's been like really hard. And I keep saying to myself, if I can just get through this, like I'll probably do some content in about 6 months from now that really talks about the last 8 months and you know, where your thinking is, and when all of a sudden the market goes down by 50%, like just in terms of nothing to buy, nothing to sell. Like it's really, really tough. So that's why, you know, but it's interesting because I want to say that I feel like this sort of horrible time has led us to do things that we would never normally do, like hustle in ways that when things were great, I would never have done. Like, I call leads sometimes just because I'm like, I'm going to dig out a lead from somewhere. And a lot of our team members are doing like 100 calls a week to leads. And so we're having to like dig like we've never dug before. But going into a healthy market, adding all of that, like this sort of scrappiness, I think is going to like bring us to the next level. So I think in 6 months from now, it will be okay. But right now we're just building back with listings.
Yeah. When Warren Buffett says, you find out who's wearing their swim trunks when the tide goes out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been tough. I'm actually going to hold you to the content because I'll bring you back when the times are better. And
Yes.
We'll talk about
okay,
this.
good. I'll tell the whole thing.
You're absolutely right. It's been a learning experience. It's been a learning experience for me since being in this business. I've never navigated a market like this.
Never.
Right?
No.
We've had good times for 20 years. I've been in the business now for going on 13 years.
Yeah.
So this
No, and I mean 2008. That
was short-lived.
But it was short.
On this side of the border. That was very short.
100%. It was like,
called a blip.
It was like 2 months, and then buyers were back. I remember early 2009, and then 2017 there was like 3 months there, but nothing like this. Like we're still down 38% for listings. So that's wild.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Buyers, come back to us.
Yeah. Sellers, inventory.
Sellers, sell your homes.
Exactly. Awkward question, but you know I have thick skin. What can we do better?
For sure. For
you?
me.
Or agents in general. What can we do better as a company?
I feel like you've done everything to make it better for me. Like every single thing. I mean, I feel supported, so supported. I can't think of another way. Like, maybe like somehow, I don't know. Like I think you educate all the agents so much on content and digital marketing and all those things.
You can thank Blair and Candace for that. They're very tight with the agents on staying in contact and seminars and
yeah, there's a lot of education and a lot of support. So like I just feel totally supported. I if I think of something, I'll tell you, as you know, because we talk openly, but I couldn't be happier. I feel really, really good, supported, and I'm getting help with everything. Like the CRM that we have here now, that's a game changer. Like Blair setting that up.
He's put a lot of.
That's what I do with my leads when I call. I get excited because I can see what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that's been huge. I feel like this is a place where I do more business where in other places I just do what I would do anywhere, if that makes sense.
That's good to hear.
I feel happy, yeah.
I appreciate hearing that. Okay, you're to end it because you are a local guest. What's your favorite hood in Toronto?
Oh no, you were
I
going to
want your-
ask
I
me
want-
about restaurants. You
I want-
can't ask me about restaurants because
I
I
want your
haven't
t-
been able to
I
think
want
about it.
I want your top 2 favorite neighborhoods first.
Ooh, oh, when I was just newly divorced, I lived in Trinity Bellwoods. And I loved that. I loved all of the like walking and the energy, and like I really liked that.
I miss living there.
I miss there.
I was on
And
Claremont.
I felt like, I was like a normal person. Now I'm sort of like a boring old person where I live now. But love that. I love so many neighborhoods in Toronto that I've always loved Summerhill. I have a lot of clients there. I also love Ronsonsville. And I have such a weird business because I'm everywhere. And I've always wanted to, I don't mean like I'm everywhere. I just mean I work everywhere. Like
Yeah.
I'm not like in my own pocket. But I always wanted that. And I always loved that. I remember I used to look up to Julie Kinnear a lot because she had the same sort of thing where her clients would just sort of be everywhere. And yeah, because I love so many things about so many different neighborhoods in Toronto. So yeah, in restaurants, I don't know, Mark.
We'll get to that in a second.
Nah.
You just prompted me to ask another question that I
Yeah.
should have asked already, and it's come up in every one of my episodes so far. Who do you look up to in this neighborhood, or sorry, in this industry? Who has been a mentor to you in this industry?
I would say my previous partner. I would say, oh God, I love what I've always looked up to what Kayla Heaps has done.
Amazing. Yeah. We were just talking about her in the last podcast.
Yeah, she's amazing, and lots of like women that I have looked up to over the years that I think are just fantastic. Like too many to name. I have a lot. Like it's funny because you talk to the same people over and over again. And some are really nice and really positive, and others are not so much. I really respect the agents that are like kind and positive and open and flexible, but are still doing well. I find the agents that are sort of not as nice to be harder to deal with.
For sure. For sure. Okay, now I'll end it with your top 2 restaurants.
Oh no!
Break it up. What's Suki's favorite restaurant, and then what's yours?
Suki likes this restaurant, which is right around the corner from us, called Uncle Betty's. And, Mark, I don't know. Help.
Everybody gets stressed out with this question.
I would say my client's restaurant, which is Patois.
Okay. I love that.
I love
I haven't been
Patois.
there in a while, like
It's
a long time.
like the best food I've ever had.
It's been a few years. That's actually embarrassing.
And I love the
I just love
owner.
that strip. I love Dundas too.
I love the owners. I love that strip. I love all restaurants around there. Like Le Banan and all those things.
That's where I got engaged.
Really? I love that restaurant.
Yeah, I put the engagement ring in the chocolate egg.
Oh my
I had
God.
Lebanon do that for me.
That's so
Yeah,
cute.
and yeah, it was great. We always go back there.
I
And
love
they recognize
that.
us to this day. Like
That's
we always
so
do.
cute.
Yeah.
I haven't been there in a long time. I have to go back there.
Oh, it's great. My kids love it too.
I also like the CN Tower because it's fun for kids.
I haven't. No, I did. What am I talking about? I did. We didn't eat though. It was crazy. It was chaos. I took them up last year, and it was chaos.
Well, there's so little.
Yeah, how much do you spend to go up there? It's like $40.
I know.
I went up there, we did one loop, and they wanted to leave, and they wanted to go to a restaurant. So, thanks, Heather. I appreciate
Thank
you coming
you.
on. We
Yeah.
appreciate having you here. I just described you to my last guest as one of the most positive people. You can't walk away from a conversation with Heather without smiling.
That's so nice. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And that's why your
That's
clients
what I
like you,
hope.
right?
That's all I hope. Like, honestly, like, and, I just want to say if there's like an agent out there that's listening or that needs a pep talk or that, is interested in making a change or potentially wants to be on a positive team, just reach out. I'd love to
I always
help them.
appreciate that. You always offer up your
Always.
counsel to agents, even if they're on your team or not, and that's
Totally.
appreciated.
Like, I'm happy to help anybody anytime or open
Where can
anything.
people find you? No phone numbers or email addresses, but where can people find you?
HaddenHomes.com.
And your Instagram handle?
Heather Ann with no E, Hadden. Or
Heather-
Hadden Homes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your podcast will be coming out when?
I'm starting next week.
And what's it called again?
Starting over.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Congrats.
Okay, bye.
Thanks.